And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And boy, oh boy, have we got a good show for you today. This is, Super Tuesday. You know the significance of that? Yep. The big primaries are taking place in 15 of the biggest states out there. And I got to tell you, it looks like it's going to be Hillary, and it looks like it's going to be Donald. So we'll see what happens. We'll probably report more on it for you tomorrow. But right now, I want you to know that on today's show, we're going to be discussing what's in the news. New legislation the IRS loses. And I'm going to answer your emails just like I do every single day. Now, on today's show, our special segment is going to be Sean LaFave and me, and we're going to be discussing current events and healthcare and God only knows what else. But Sean and I generally have a great time here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so you don't want to miss those shows. I think we have I'm prejudiced. I think we've got a great show every day. You know what? But right now, I want you to stand by for news. But before that, I want you to know that at 3:02 p.m. Pacific time, it is currently 84 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Okay, I want to do the news. The 10 things that you need to know for Tuesday, your daily look at late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that are going to be talked about all day today and tomorrow, Wednesday, too. First off, the GOP divides deepen on the eve of Super Tuesday. The fault lines widen between Republican leaders who support frontrunner Donald Trump and those who reject him, sending tremors through the party. Or what the judge rules about the Apple iPhone encryption. The United States Justice Department cannot force Apple to give the FBI access to locked iPhone data. A judge rules that in New York, the drug case that could affect the San Bernardino terrorism investigation. And Sanders keeps his religion on campaign back burner. The Vermont senator, the first Jewish candidate to win a major presidential primary, has largely avoided discussing his Judaism. And who breaks a decade-long silence? Well, Justice Clarence Thomas is asking questions yesterday during a Supreme Court hearing for the first time since February of 2006. That's 10 years, drawing gasps from the audience. You know what? Why shouldn't he be allowed to ask questions? He is a justice. It's almost like he's doing it in tribute to Antonin Scalia, because that's the guy that used to ask all the questions. Well, where the riot police turn away refugees. Now, Macedonian police on Greece's northern border used tear gas and stun grenades against Syrian and Iraqi asylum seekers as authorities rushed to build more camps to house them. And it's truly the best job in the world. That's how Navy SEAL Edward Byers describes his service upon receiving the Medal of Honor for helping rescue an American hostage in Afghanistan. Well, more mayors, governors are tapping the dark money. Like federal politicians, officials in state and city government are turning to nonprofits, sometimes backed by anonymous donors, to help promote their agendas and defuse a crisis. And for Oscars, the lowest ratings in 8 years. The drop in viewers came in a year when the movie industry suffered criticism over a lack of diversity. In Airbnb renters make gruesome discovery. A group of young people renting a suburban Paris home finds a badly decomposed body on a slope on the unfenced property. And finally, Tom Brady reportedly okays the extension. The New England quarterback agrees to a 2-year extension, reports say. Well, good for Tom. Now, let's get to some in-depth news here. First off, Attorney General turns up the heat in a public war with Apple. The nation's top law officer called for dialogue with the tech industry, but also turned up the heat on Apple for refusing to help the FBI unlock an encrypted iPhone used by an extremist mass killer in San Bernardino. One risk is making this all about Apple, when in reality it's all about all of us, U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch told an audience at a major cybersecurity industry conference in San Francisco show today. We have to decide, she added, do we let one company, no matter how great a company, no matter how beautiful their device is, do we let one company decide this issue for all of us? Do we let one company decide this is how investigations are going to be conducted? Lynch spoke as top officials of the FBI and Apple were testifying on the same topic before Congress. Meanwhile, a courtroom collision is looming over Apple's challenge to a federal court order that the company says would make all iPhones vulnerable to hacking by government authorities and criminals alike. During her speech at the annual RSA Security Conference, Lynch echoed comments earlier in the day by National Security Agency Director Mike Rogers, who told attendees that the government wants to work collaboratively with the tech industry to fight extremists and malicious hackers. Well, we'll see about that. You know, the judge has ruled. And Apple can't be forced to make this happen. You know, the FBI Apple clash before Congress as the encryption fight simmers, or I don't know if it's simmering or not. You know, the United States government calls it a vicious guard dog that hurts national security. Apple says it's critical to protecting consumer privacy against increasing sophisticated hackers. As the debate over built-in iPhone encryption has deadlocked in the courts, law enforcement and the world's second largest cell phone maker, agreed on one point today. It's now up to Congress to set boundaries in a long simmering fight over who can legally access your digital life. There's already a door on that iPhone. We're asking Apple to take the vicious guard dog away and let us pick the lock, FBI Director James Comey told the House Judiciary Panel on encryption today. The FBI is asking Apple to weaken the security of our products, Apple General Counsel Bruce Sewell countered later that afternoon. Today's hearing shifted attention from the courts, where judges in the last month have issued significant but conflicting opinions, to Congress, where both sides say the policy debate belongs. Well, we'll see about that. We know what the judges said, though. They can't force Apple to do that. No way, no how. And you know what? And I really think that that's the way it ought to be. Well, you know what? When we come back, we're going to talk about Super Tuesday. Clinton and Trump look to pull away from the rivals. I'll talk to you all about that right after these brief messages, so do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news. Well, you know what today is? It's Super Tuesday, and Clinton and Trump look to pull away from the rivals. On out front and looking ahead, Donald Trump and Democrat Hillary Clinton hope to begin charting a final path toward the general election on Super Tuesday, a delegate-rich day of primary contests likely to reveal candidates' strengths and weaknesses with a broad swath of American voters. Elections were being held in a dozen states, from Vermont to Colorado, Alaska to Alabama, and a host of locations in between. Trump and Clinton entered Super Tuesday having each won 3 of 4 early voting contests. Strong showings for both on today could start putting the nominations out of reach for other contenders. Even before the results started flowing in, Trump was calling for Florida Senator Marco Rubio, one of his chief rivals, to give up if he didn't win anywhere on Tuesday. He has to get out, he told Fox News. He hasn't won anything. Rubio, along with Texas Senator Ted Cruz, is scrambling to block Trump's path to the nomination. Both senators have launched furious verbal attacks on the billionaire businessman in recent days, but some in the party establishment fear the anti-Trump campaign has come too late. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll certainly be following it. We won't know anything for sure for a while. But you know what? You can bet one thing. I'll be talking to you about this tomorrow during the show. That's for sure. Well, how about safety over sexy? Airport stops a woman with a gun-shaped heels. Now, we're talking about on her shoes, guys. This is the thing. At the airport, safety is more important than sexy. That's what a woman found out at the Baltimore-Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport. Officials say she was stopped Sunday at a security checkpoint with a pair of gun-shaped stiletto heels. TSA spokeswoman Lisa Farbstein says the stilettos had heels in the shape of handguns and faux bullets around the sole. They were in the woman's carry-on luggage, along with bracelets lined in faux bullets. The agency prohibits passengers from carrying replica guns or ammunition through airport security checkpoints. Farbstein says the woman was told that she could put the items in her checked luggage. The woman tried to check the items, but ended up leaving them with the TSA in order to catch her flight. You know what? Gosh, I'm looking at a picture of it. I suppose they could think that it was a weapon, but from what I'm seeing, there's just no way. This is the stupidest thing I ever saw in my life. This is just crazy stuff. You know, just crazy stuff. Let's talk about the GOP leaders. You know, there's no place for bigotry in the Republican Party. You know where we're headed with this. Sure you do. The 2 top Republican leaders in Congress denounced Donald Trump today for his slow-moving disavowal of former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell blasted Trump's seeming ambivalence about David Duke and the KKK. As Speaker Paul Ryan, a Republican from Wisconsin, warned that anyone who wants the Republican Republican presidential nomination must reject racism. The rebuke of Trump came as GOP voters went to the polls in 11 states in a Super Tuesday of balloting that many Republicans fear could give the combative and controversial New Yorker unstoppable momentum toward claiming the GOP presidential nod. This party does not prey on people's prejudices. We appeal to their highest ideals. This is the party of Lincoln, Ryan told reporters. At the same time, Ryan reiterated that he will support the eventual GOP presidential nominee. Well, the way it ought to be, right? Everybody's trying to stop it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Well, out in the cold, refugees get no good news at a Greek border. You know what? Hassan Rashid's papers have been cleared, but the Iraqi refugee has spent days freezing in a tent with no tarp on the ground and flaps that don't close. One of 10,000 migrants stuck at a muddy camp on the border of Greece and Macedonia. They're hoping for a breakthrough in Europe's troubled negotiations on how to handle the deepening crisis, but there was little sign of that today. Austria's chancellor insisted he would not let his country become a waiting room for Germany, while authorities from 4 ex-Yugoslav countries on the migrant route vowed closer cooperation to keep people out. I've been at Idomeni for 10 days, and it's the 4th day I've been waiting to cross over, the 27-year-old Rashid said. Conditions are very bad. There are many ill children who are coughing, and we spent the night in this tent under heavy rain. Well, you know what? I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that at all. Well, here's one for you. Osama bin Laden, worried wife, had a tracking device in a filling in her mouth. Now, hiding in Pakistan, an increasingly paranoid Osama bin Laden suspected Iran of implanting a tracking device in his wife's mouth and drafted a will directing much of his $29 million fortune to be spent on jihad after his death. The details about the al-Qaeda leader's life were released today in a second batch of letters and other documents seized in a May 2011 raid that killed bin Laden at his secret compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. The letters detail his rift with militants who later broke off from al-Qaeda and formed the Islamic State, as well as plans for a media blitz to mark the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. Other correspondence resonates with suspicion and fear. In a letter to one of his wives who lived in Iran, bin Laden expressed worry that her dental appointment could have allowed Iranians to implant a tracking device under her skin. You know, that's what happens when you become paranoid, and you become paranoid, you know what, when you need to be. Well, Osama congressional leaders talk a Supreme Court vacancy after an Oval Office sit-down today did nothing to move Republican Senate leaders off their hard line against a Supreme Court nomination. Democrats pulled out another weapon in their heated election year fight, Donald Trump. In a White House meeting that lasted less than an hour, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, and Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, a Republican from Iowa, told President Barack Obama that any confirmation process during a presidential campaign would politicize the court. They offered up no potential candidates that would win their backing and no route to filling the seat. This vacancy will not be filled this year, McConnell told reporters after the meeting. Wow. Democrats accused Republicans of trying to hold the seat open so that a Republican president could fill it. The president could be Trump, they noted, hoping to needle the GOP establishment uncomfortable with the prospects of a Trump presidency. Well, we'll see about that. In the meantime, don't go away. When we come back, we're going to talk about the IRS loses. The first case up is when salary is deemed to be a dividend, payroll tax needs to be refunded. And I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? a professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Okay, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. But before we do that, I want you to know that 3:23 p.m. Pacific time, it's still 84 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 53 degrees. But you know what? If you're listening in our global syndicated network and you're in New York City, well, it's 45 degrees and clear. And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, it's 25 degrees and it's snowing. Yeah. So, you know what? Give that some thought. But you know what? Let's get right into the IRS loses. Just sends chills up and down my spine. First case, when salary is deemed to be a dividend, payroll tax is refunded. Here's the case. The IRS and tax court held that a salary paid by a corporation to its owner was excessive. Therefore, the company's deduction for it was disallowed. When the IRS submitted its calculation of tax due as a result of the disallowed deduction, the company and its owner protested that it didn't include a refund of the 1.45% Medicare payroll tax each had paid on the salary. The IRS said that the tax court does not have jurisdiction over payroll tax disputes, so it cannot order a refund of the taxes. But this is what the tax court ruling was. Whereas here, In an income tax case, payroll taxes must be recomputed to reach the correct tax result. The court does have jurisdiction, and the refund is ordered. IRS, get off your fat ass and get this thing done. How about this? The IRS loses. Death defeats a levy on a lawyer's bank account. Here's the case. An attorney died while still owing back taxes. Now, a state court then ordered that his business bank account be distributed to clients for whom he had held funds and to trustees named to terminate the affairs of his law practice to cover their necessary costs and fees. But before the bank made the distribution, the IRS issued a levy on the account. Now, this is what the court said. After the state court's order, the deceased lawyer had no interest in the bank account and its funds, which now belonged to his clients, creditors, and the trustees as fees. Therefore, there was nothing for the IRS levy to attach to. Doesn't it send a chill? Absolutely. I just love this stuff. Let me give you one more. The IRS loses. A bar's licensed owner should not be treated as the owner. Sounds strange? Listen to this. Charles Manny wanted to purchase a bar, but a felony conviction kept him from obtaining a liquor license. So he reached a deal with his friend Ray Monk, who bought the bar, obtained his license, and opened business accounts for it in his own name. Now, Manny then ran the bar as Chuck's Place, and Monk moved 200 miles away. Manny paid $2,500 a month to Monk that Monk treated as rent. Now, here's the snag. The IRS audited Monk, said he was the bar's legal owner, and taxed its income to him. This is what the court said. The monthly $2,500 payment did not vary, indicating it was rent, not profit sharing. In all other ways, Manny and Monk acted as tenant and landlord, so the bar's income was not taxed to Monk. Doesn't that just make sense? You know, the IRS sometimes has got their head stuck in the sand. I really want to say somewhere else, but I can't. It wouldn't be nice. You know, here's the thing. The IRS has a handbook for taxpayers, and this is what the title of it is: "Gone with the Wind." To give that some thought. Now, you know what? You heard me talking about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. That's where we're at right now with this segment we call Inside the IRS. Sounds a little bit like the Twilight Zone. So here we are. Let me give you this. This is not a tax court case, but these are things that the IRS has been doing consistently, and you want to know what it is they're doing. This gives you an opportunity to battle them on their own playing field. So here's the first one. Watch your back when the IRS tells you that it's got a good deal for you. Yeah. Well, you know, the good deal comes in the form of a letter that advises you to accept the terms of a global settlement that the IRS is offering to taxpayers who are involved in a common issue. Now, let me give you an example of that. Thousands of taxpayers were found to have maintained offshore bank accounts that reported neither the money deposited into the accounts nor the interest earned on them. The IRS offered many of those taxpayers a last chance to avoid huge penalties if they disclosed their wrongdoing. So here's the strategy. If the IRS tries to entice you into a global settlement, speak to a knowledgeable tax attorney who understands the IRS's limitations before deciding whether to accept. It is important to find out exactly what facts and evidence are in the possession of the IRS to determine whether it can prove its case against you. Think about it. Just think about it. Now, we're going to go for a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be with our own Sean LaFave in his Geared for Wellness Corner. And I want you to know that tomorrow in this particular segment, we're going to talk about an IRS audit trap that you're going to want to know all about. I'll tell you all about this right after these brief messages. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from his personal meditation lounge in Orange County, California, a professional dedicated to conquering many chronic conditions from autism to weight loss and everything in between. The nationally recognized wellness coach, consultant, and lecturer, Sean Lefebvre, in his Geared for Wellness Corner.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:32 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 84 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. If you're listening to us on our global network, if you're in Paris, France, it's 50 degrees and mostly cloudy. In Rome, Italy, it's 45 degrees and clear. And you know what? My good buddy Sean Lefebvre is waiting in the wings, and he's going to give us a weather report for Newport Beach. Hey, Sean, what's going on out in Newport?
You know, it is sunny, and I didn't actually check the weather, but I'm looking it up right now. It's warm. I can tell you that much.
Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough for me. It's so, and you talk about hot. Yeah,
for this area.
yeah. You know what? So, how was your weekend, my friend?
Gosh, you know, it seemed like
you don't remember it? It was just a couple days ago.
I feel like I had a weekend. It was good. It was good, though. I hung out with some friends and spent a little bit of time with my son. He's been busy. I think he just recently discovered girls, and so I don't really see
Wait a minute. How old is your son?
He's 20, but I'm telling you.
Wait a minute. I'm not going to let you just skim right by this. He's 20 years old and he's just discovering girls?
Well, yeah. Actually, he's funny. He never in high school, never dated, and we moved out here. You would think, he was 17 when we moved to California, and we didn't know anybody when we got here. And I mean, I've got some friends and family in the greater area, but nobody that lived like right close to us. And so he didn't know anybody, and it took him forever. He's very kind of shy kind of guy, and he's definitely come into his own in the last year and a half.
Is this your natural son?
Yeah, I know. Crazy, huh? I know. You would never guess.
And he's your biological son, and he's kind of shy?
Exactly. There's a lot of things about him that I go, he had to get those from his mom, because he sure didn't get them from me. But yeah, he's not so shy anymore. You know, it's funny though, Robert. I used to be, I don't know if shy was the word for it when I was a kid, but I was very introverted. I was very much a loner. I preferred to be by myself. I would go do things like maybe go hiking or go shooting my gun or something like that, but I'd just go walk off in the woods, and I go maybe take my dog or something. And even in sports, I was never big into team sports. I always liked individual sports more. And so by nature, I'm really kind of more of a loner individual kind of person myself. I like being around people, and I've grown accustomed to it, and I've grown to enjoy it a lot. But I do have these times that I need to pull back and be alone and recharge. And if I don't, I actually get kind of annoyed with being around people. So I have to get away and recharge. But
that's interesting, because I was going to say the same thing about me. I am an extrovert. I like people. I like to talk to people. I walk up to them. I'm friendly. But there are those days when I really need solitude. I want to just be by myself, not necessarily do anything, just relax, just be by myself, do nothing, read a book, or maybe not read a book. I just need to be alone. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. And then exactly it. I can talk to anybody. You know, I've just learned the benefit of reaching out and, giving that initial hello and finding common ground. And, there's a lot of benefits in being able to connect with other people. But I don't think that it's something that has always come naturally to me. I think it's something that I had to teach myself how to do.
Yeah, and I think
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think you're right. You know what, I was going to say a young kid, but a little kid, in school, you had to get up in front of the class, and you knew all these people, but you were still nervous if you had to get up and talk and do things, and then all of a sudden later on in my career, I found myself getting involved in public speaking because I was forced to, not because I volunteered or wanted to. It's just part of the job, and you kind of force yourself into those situations where the extrovert in you is an effort. It's not something that came naturally, and it's a talent you develop. It's not something you're born with, I think.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. And that's exactly. And people who know me well, when I tell them what I was like as a kid, they're like, "Really? I just can't picture you like that." Because I can walk into a room and connect with almost anybody in the room, and I can stand in front of a group of, you can put me in front of a group of a couple hundred people, and I could deliver a talk and not. I may have a little bit of nervous jitters that are normal, but I'm not going to freeze up or not be able to continue on and give a good presentation. I've gotten up. I'm trying to think, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to was probably 300, 400, 500, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's a big crowd.
And I felt comfortable being in front of them, but I think there was a time when that wasn't the case with me. And so yeah, Victor, maybe he does get that from me, but and I watched him come into his own really the last year to year and a half. And like I said, the first year that we were here, he really didn't even make any friends. And you would think, 17 years old, just moved to California, West Coast, from the Midwest, Kansas to Orange County, California, living by the beach, has a convertible Mustang. Life should be awesome and you should be happy, but he was miserable because
Southern California was made for a kid like that.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what this area is made for. And he's just. Here's a funny story. So of course he's a chef now at Pelican Hill Resort, which is continuously ranked the best resort in Southern California, mm-hmm. and one of the best in the nation. But while he was going to culinary school, in fact, his first job that he got here in California when we moved here was with a place called House of Big Fish. And the funny thing was he actually got a job there as a dishwasher. And the guy that owned it owned 5 restaurants. And the chef Craig, who managed all of the kitchens for all 5 restaurants, the day he met Victor, he called Victor over and said, "Hey, Victor, what are you doing over there?" He says, "I'm washing dishes." And he started talking to him, asking him questions, and he really liked him. He said, "Hey, Victor, you want to be a chef?" 17 years old, right? And he says, I'd love to be a chef. He's like, okay, great. Grab a knife and come over here and start chopping vegetables. And so that's how he got started working in the kitchen, you know.
And he was, you say he was 17 when he started that?
He was 17, right? So they made him a pantry chef at 17 years old. And he hadn't even started culinary school yet, right? That's actually what kind of prompted all that. And he'd already graduated from high school. So he's working there for a while, and he's leaving work one day, and he comes home and he tells me this story. And he said, he goes, there's this girl, there's one of the hostess there, and she's 18 years old, and he's walking out the door, and she says, hey, Victor. Now, he doesn't even really know this girl, right? They've not talked before. And she goes, hey, Victor. And he goes, yeah. She goes, how old are you? And he goes, I'm 17. She goes, how did you become a chef at 17 years old? And so he kind of told her the story, you know, and so she asked him a couple other questions, and you know, he was cordial to her and said goodbye and went home, right? And I said, Victor, was she cute? He said, yeah, she's really cute. I said, did you get her phone number? He goes, no, why? I go, she's cute. She's 18 years old, just a little bit older, you're about the same age. She knows your name. She knows what you do there, and she's impressed by the fact that you do it. And she took time to stop you and have a conversation with you. I said, the barn door wasn't even open. They took the whole wall off the barn and slammed it to the ground. And it made it so that you couldn't have had an easier opening. I said, man, you're killing me. I said, are you sure you're my son? But that's just who he is, you know. He's a nice kid, you know, and he doesn't, you know, that was not a thought process. At 17, my first thought process would have been, hey, what time do you get off? Let's go to the beach, you know. Like, I wouldn't even wait. I would have gotten her phone number, but I'll also set up a plan to go do something with her, you know, at 17. So he just kind of really never. But now recently, he like I said, he turned 20 in October, so he's 20 and a half. He'll be 21 this year. But really, it's been the last few months. You know, he's got a couple of girls that he's been hanging out with, spending time with, and I think he's really realizing that, you know, the companionship of females is kind of a nice thing to have, and so he's been spending more time with these young ladies that he's met, and he still hangs out with his buddies too, but I'm sure a lot of the time he's taken away from me, which I'm okay with that. But it is funny to see him finally, like I said, all high school, he never went on a date. He went to the prom twice, and they were just with girls, both very pretty girls, but both friends of his. And I've never seen him actually take someone out on a date up until probably just a month or two ago. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. And I have no idea what that does for our listeners and how that contributes to health and wellness or the betterness of the world. But you know, everybody comes out in their own time, I guess, and so it's kind of so yeah. He just discovered girls, and so I, you know, on the weekends. He definitely, and the thing that's hard for him now is he works in that resort, but he goes in at 7:30 in the morning. On Sundays, he goes in at 7. And of course, all his friends want to go out on Friday and Saturday nights. And so, you know, he's got to usually either call it a night early or be dragging the next day when he gets up.
You know, that's what they call responsibility, and I think it's a wonderful thing. You know, here's the thing, because you know, I love to cook. I love it. I just enjoy it, especially if it comes out good. And so to have a young man who started at 17 and started the right way from the ground up, and started learning, you know, the little tricks and things from other accomplished chefs, and to be working in the kind of venues that he's working in, I think that's just absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I'm super proud of him. I think he's just done amazing, and you know, he definitely went through a period for a little while where, you know, and I think this is a lesson that we all need to learn in every aspect of life, not just work, but, you know, with our health or with, you know, our career, with, you know, with relationships or whatever, is, you know, he really wanted it to move along a lot faster. You know, he got his job there at Pelican Hill, and he just felt like it was taking forever for him to get promoted or to go to the next step. And, you know, you know, he finally has come to the realization that, you know what, he still has a lot to learn. And being a good chef isn't just, okay, I learned how to make salads, now let me do this, let me do that. And, it's not going to happen in 6 months or a year. It takes years to be proficient at these things. And,
oh, yeah. But you know what?
I think that's with anything in life.
And I mean, and I know you're not a freeloader or anything, but do you get an opportunity to go to his restaurant and have him cook for you from time to time?
When I've gone there a few times, and in fact, I took my mom there for Mother's Day, and they have, when you go there for special days like that, they have a kind of a smaller set menu, and of course it's very expensive. It's like over $100 a plate kind of thing per person. So, and then that doesn't include if you want to get some mimosa or something like that.
I think that's a good reason for him to comp you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, unfortunately, he can't. But if he wants to go, and he's not, it's funny because it's an Irvine company, and for those who aren't from this area, Irvine is like they own half of everything in Orange County. It seems like, but it's an Irvine company, and so they've got a lot of rules. And he's technically not supposed to go there on Friday and Saturday nights. To eat. He can go there during the rest of the week, but when he goes, he gets 50% off of his meal for him and up to 5 guests, so a total of 6 people.
Oh, that's a good deal.
So we've taken advantage. And one night, I had a friend who was visiting from out of town, and we all went there. And of course, they gave us, it was a Friday night, and they were generous. They said, of course you can come on in, Victor. That's fine, because they really like Victor there. It's kind of cool that they like him, as much as they do. Yeah. And of course, he felt kind of like it was a good ego boost. He felt like the man because the manager came over and introduced himself to our friends and said great things about Victor. The head chef came over and introduced himself and said great things about Victor. And, the waiter that we have, this guy David, he just loves Victor.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on. The next thing you got to do is move to all the clientele, and I'm way over on a commercial break here. So let's suffice it to say that Victor is well liked. His dad is very, very proud of him. And when we come back from this late commercial break, we're gonna talk about a study that $3 billion will be wasted on unused portion of cancer drugs, and we'll talk about that when we come back with Sean LaFave. Right. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7300. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Sean LaFave in the Geared for Wellness Corner. Actually, he was giving us a Victor update for the last 15 minutes. But you know what? I am never going to forget that when I asked Sean about his son Victor, that Sean is a very proud papa. So and should be for that matter. Now, Sean. Yeah. There's a study I'm reading about. I don't know if you saw it or not. That $3 billion is going to be wasted on the unused portion of cancer drugs. Now, I don't know if you saw this or not. It's the high prices for cancer medicines aren't the only reason that they cost insurers and patients so doggone much money. Waste pads the bill. That's what the study's finding is because infused cancer drugs are distributed in the United States in vials that usually contain more medicine than most patients actually need. Most of the time, that excess is thrown out, even though it's perfectly good and worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Any comments on that?
It's kind of an interesting dynamic. When most people hear the word $3 billion, they think, "Oh my gosh, that's what a huge waste." And first of all, the cancer drug industry is about a $100 billion industry, so we're talking about a 3% waste. Still, it'd be nice if we didn't waste 3%, but 3% is not a huge number when you're talking about waste with most industry. And this is something that's not even, I'll get right back to the cancer drugs, but this is something that's not exclusive to cancer drugs or any drugs at all. Yeah, when you go to the hospital and they give you a box of tissues and you use a tissue or two out of it, they charge your insurance company for the entire box of tissues. And then maybe they throw them away out, they take them home, what they do with them. But I think the problem with the cancer drug specifically is, the cancer drug is expensive to purchase, especially knowing that an insurance company, and I've said this, a bunch of times, anytime there's a third party payer, you're always going to have an inflated price on something.
So let me stop you for a second. Let's because we're not talking about the inflated prices, which is bad enough here. We're talking about the waste that appears to be built in to what's going on here. It's sort of like, if you go to the store to buy a flashlight battery, you can't buy just one, but you only need just one, right? And,
right, sure.
and so you might wind up losing the other one or never being able to find it when you need it again or what's going on. And that's what I'm seeing here, that you have, especially cancer drugs, these expensive drugs. Are they actually being produced in quantities that the physicians they already know they're not going to use that quantity, but they can't use the same bottle of that drug for two different patients? Isn't that right, sort of a built-in waste that the drug companies make the fluff on?
Well, and yes, absolutely. And they have zero. Unlike the batteries, if you buy a package of 6 batteries or 8, and you need 2 of them, hopefully the other ones are going to go in your junk drawer and maybe get lost forever. And hopefully you'll be able to use them for, your smoke detector or whatever the case is that you're using it for later on down the road, or some toy or whatever. But they know that a certain percent of this is going to get thrown away. And the drug companies have zero incentive right now to change that, because they know that the drug, that the insurance companies are going to pay for the cost. Let's say that comes in let's say it's a 50 milliliter, I don't even know what the sizes are, these are just random numbers.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a 50 milliliter bottle, is what it comes out in. It's always the same size bottle, but you only need 10 milliliters, or only need 30 milliliters, or whatever. So they take that out, they give it to the patient, and then they throw the rest away. Well, I'm going to guess. I obviously not in the industry, but the vast majority of your expense when you pay for these drugs is not for the cost of manufacturing the drug. It's all the research and development. You're paying for someone's expertise that spent years of research and clinical studies and on to make this drug possible. And you're paying for the value of what that drug gives you. It might cost them $1 to produce that vial of drug when you just put the chemicals together and make it, but then they're going to sell it for, let's say, $500, right? And now we just used $300 worth of that and threw the other $200 away
because they got to recap. They have to recoup the expense in the research and development. I understand that. Yeah.
So what is my incentive as a pharmaceutical company to spend $1, or maybe it's only going to be 95 cents to bottle up a 250 milliliter bottle or a 25 milliliter bottle as opposed to a 50 milliliter bottle, and I know that I'm going to get paid less for it. Instead of getting paid $500, I'm only going to get paid $250 or $300.
But Sean, it sounds like what you're saying to me is that the drug companies are really the good guys in this thing. They're trying to make sure the physician actually has enough of the drug to treat the client, knowing that they have overfilled the vials with more than what the physician actually needs.
Yeah, I don't know if.
I mean, that's what it sounds like you're saying, because otherwise, regardless of what the cost is, why would they try to sell more than they need? It's a matter of supply and demand. And if you get enough of these things, $3 billion, how much extra is there that the drug company can actually sell at full price?
As far as how much extra, I don't know the exact numbers of, what's left over, what's not left over, and, if you had to use 2 vials as opposed to 1.
Well, I think you're losing my point. My point is $3 billion would feed a lot of homeless. $3 billion would shelter a lot of homeless. $3 billion would help feed the hungry. $3 billion could go a long way toward helping people who still don't have insurance get quality medical care.
And I agree with you. And I don't think that I would say that the drug companies are being the good guys here by making sure that there's enough available. I think that they're just doing what they need to do to make things the most cost effective for them. And it's more cost effective to give the doctor too much and get paid extra for it than it is to give him exactly the same amount or maybe not quite enough and get paid a lot less for it. And especially when production costs are minimal. Production costs for drugs is cheap. That's why there's a patent on it. If it wasn't a patent, someone else would figure it out and forget all the millions of dollars in research. You're done. Now we can just make it for pennies on the dollar.
Okay, Sean, take a deep breath, because I'm now 30 seconds over, because we went way over on the last one, and then we're gonna have 18 minutes when we come back from this. But when we come back, we've exhausted that. We got the information we needed. I want to talk to you about the latest law that's coming about in San Francisco that I know you're going to have a comment on. We'll be right back with Sean LaFave. We're going to talk about San Francisco is raises tobacco buying age from 18 to 21. We're going to get Sean's thoughts on that, and we'll find out if they actually can do it. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:01 p.m. Pacific time, currently 84 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, if you're listening to us on our global network and you're in Vienna, Austria, it's 37 degrees, and it's also 1 o'clock in the morning, so, don't go outside. And if you're in Madrid, Spain, it's 50 degrees over there. But where it's not cold, it's hot. Right now, it's the conversation that we're having between Sean Lefebvre and I in his Geared for Wellness Corner when we just before we went on our commercial break, when I was actually demanding that Sean take a deep breath. I'm afraid he's going to pass out. He's going to pass out one of these days because I don't know. You never take a breath, man. I don't know how you get it through there.
I've got an intake port on the side, and it just pumps air in, and that way I don't have to stop talking. It's kind of nice.
I keep telling myself I'm going to wait for him just a little lull. I don't want to have to interrupt him. I want to wait for just a little lull, but I never get one.
Well, I think it is, like I said before, when I was younger, I was so shy and introverted and quiet that I think I'm just making up for lost time now.
You got over it, I'm going to tell you. So here's the thing. This is the latest from San Francisco. They're raises tobacco buying age to 21 now. Now here,
I have to be 21 to buy Tabasco. Oh no.
Yeah. Well, here's an area that you and I are going to disagree here. So I want you to get ready for it because I know where you're going to go with this. Okay. So here's the thing. The latest on an effort to raise the tobacco buying age to 21 in San Francisco. Here's the thing. San Francisco officials unanimously approved an ordinance boosting the legal age to buy tobacco products from 18 to 21. The ordinance, approved by the Board of Supervisors today, applies all tobacco products, including e-cigarettes, what do they call those things? The vapor cigarettes.
Yeah,
the city joins New York City and Boston in setting the minimum age at 21. Now, Supervisor Scott Weiner, the chief sponsor of the legislation, said raising the age limit will discourage young people from turning into lifelong smokers. You know what? Here's the thing. I just don't think that's the case. Let me give you my argument, and then you can blow me all to hell. How's that sound?
I don't know why you think I'm going to disagree with you.
Well, I think go ahead. So here's the thing. So they changed the law, and they make it a finable offense It's a revenue thing I don't think it's a health thing for these supervisors. The kids are going to still go out and get the cigarettes. They're going to find a way to get these cigarettes. They're going to get fined. They're going to continue to smoke because they're already hooked. But that's not even the biggest issue for me. The biggest issue for me is, first of all, I'm a non-smoker. I used to smoke, and I don't agree with I do believe that it's a health hazard, a cancer hazard to smoke. But here's what I also know. I know that at 18 years old, young kids can be sent overseas to spill their blood for their country, that they can lose their lives for their country. They can become maimed for their country. They can come back and be abused by the VA when they actually sacrificed for their country. At 18, they can vote for the person that's going to send them over there. But at 18, they can't buy a damn pack of cigarettes. I've got a problem with that.
I agree with you, actually. I don't know why you think I'm going to disagree with you, but I agree. It sounds like a stupid law. One is it's San Francisco. It's not the whole state of California. So how hard is it to go to, while you're in San Jose, go buy a carton of cigarettes? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's true. So that's true. Well, you're right. It says the buying age. It doesn't say the smoking age. I didn't pick up on that. You're right.
Yeah, so I don't know. That was actually one of the questions I had. Is it illegal to smoke a cigarette if you're 18 years old now in San Francisco, or is it just illegal to purchase them? So that would be the big question. Is if it's illegal to smoke them too? Okay, well then, and I know that it's I guess technically a crime for someone above 18 to buy cigarettes for someone under 18. Mm-hmm. In the rest of the country, obviously 21 now in San Francisco and New York, but I've never once known anybody who's received any type of citation. I've never seen an officer enforce it. I've never seen an officer go up to a 16-year-old and go, "Hey, buddy, so how you smoking?"
Oh, I never have either. I've seen him. Hey, I've seen him say, "Hey, put it out," or give me that pack. Or, but that was years and years and years ago. But when you think about it, it's not even. I just think that it is ridiculous that we can ask these young adults to make the ultimate sacrifices for us. We've agreed that they have the mentality to actually vote for the leaders of this country. And mainly we've done that because they had reached the age where they could sacrifice their lives for this country. I find it really hard that we don't allow them to make a decision about smoking. Matter of fact, I actually feel the same way about drinking too. This is... You either are going to say these are children and we're sending children to sacrifice their lives for our country, or they are already adults. Maybe they need some supervision, but if they haven't got it by the time they're 18 years old, they're not going to get it.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The one thing is, like, I get the drinking age laws, and that really, because I'm sure it curbs some of the DUIs of younger people, because it's not so readily easy for them to go out. They can't go to a bar and then drive home.
Yeah, but there are states, if you're 18, you can buy beer. You can go in Hawaii. You can buy beer at 18 years old. You can, and if you're on a military reservation, you can buy at 18. No,
not anymore. You used to be able to, but not anymore.
Oh, you can't.
The last place that I knew of on a military base where you could, and there may be a select few, but when I was stationed up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, we, even on base, you had to be 21 to buy alcohol. But Minot Air Force Base, which was just a couple hours, I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours away, and it wasn't very far, but they were quite a bit farther north, and they were a very short drive to get across the border to go to Canada, which was 18, and to stop these airmen, these young guys, from driving up to Canada and going and drinking and potentially driving back that night, they just said, okay, if you're on base and you're 18, you can drink. And that was the only military base that I knew.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you're South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, and you got drunk and passed out behind the wheel, it would be 5 or 6 hours before you hit anything anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, you might hit a tractor eventually, but that's on you. But the brain, the prefrontal cortex of the brain, which is responsible for making rational, logical decisions. It's what makes us stop and go, you know what? This could get me killed. This is a stupid idea. I'm not going to do it. Whenever that kind of thought process goes through your brain, it originates in the prefrontal cortex. Well, the prefrontal cortex doesn't fully develop until you're about 25 years old. And so young, I say kids, but they're young, men and women, 18, 19, 20 years old, even all the way up into their early 20s, really don't have that capacity. I mean, think about it. When your insurance, it drops significantly when you turn 25, because at 25 we start making smart choices. Well, not all the time, but we make more smart choices.
Well, I've met people 45 and 55 and 65 that still are not making smart choices.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm kind of still there at times myself, but so the drinking, I understand, because the ramifications are, if I make a stupid decision, I drink too much, I can end up killing somebody. But with cigarettes, I mean, okay, secondhand smoke, maybe I might annoy someone, but chances are you're not going to be locked in a room with someone 18 years old who's going to be chain smoking and killing you eventually. Yeah. Back in the 50s, it was more because everyone smoked inside.
So explain to me that e-cigarette. I mean, it's a vapor cigarette. Why that one? It's not tobacco.
Yeah, it's not, but it's filled with all these chemicals. It obviously has the nicotine. It's a pharmaceutical grade nicotine. It does have these chemicals in it, and it's got these flavor enhancers and on. But actually,
it's not just vapor the way. So I'm mistaken.
No,
I'm mistaken. It's not just vapor. It's got some harmful stuff in it.
It's got harmful stuff. And when it first came out, they went, hey, it's not cigarettes. It's harmless. It's not going to hurt anybody. But now they're finding out, you know what, actually this stuff's probably as dangerous as cigarettes, and in some cases may even be more dangerous than cigarettes. Is the research that I've been reading up there. They're really starting to now discover that maybe e-cigarettes aren't the way to go. And what I told people, for those out there who do smoke and are, listening, who are smokers, I've always told people, I get these clients, and the ones that are smokers, they always say the same thing to me. They go, you're going to tell me to stop smoking, aren't you? And I go, no, because everyone in your life has told you to stop smoking. You're a grown adult. Apparently, you don't listen to anybody else, so you're probably not going to listen to me. But what I will tell you is, if you're going to smoke, at least go get a good quality cigarette and smoke American Spirits. They're all tobacco. You can even get ones that are fully organic tobacco. So that's all you're smoking is tobacco. You're not smoking any chemicals at all. And you can get them with a filter. You can get them with a light filter or a heavy filter, whatever you want. You're still getting the tobacco. You're still getting the tar and the nicotine.
Well, you know how they make these cigarette papers burn slow, don't you? They put strychnine on the paper. They soak it in there and they dry it out. And when you're smoking you're inhaling the fumes from this strychnine. In the right quantity, it's lethal.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and in any quantity, it's going to slowly make you sicker. And so, why not just smoke? I mean, I've had friends that roll their own. They get the American Spirit, they buy the papers, and they roll their own. And American Spirit cigarettes.
I'm not familiar with that. I mean, so can you go back a little bit? I'm not familiar with American. I don't smoke, so I wouldn't know. But I'm not familiar with American Spirit. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
American Spirit it's a brand. It's made here in the United States, and it is an all natural brand of cigarettes. It's made the way cigarettes were made 200 years ago, with paper and tobacco.
So you take it out of a can and you roll your own with that. Is that what that is? It's the tobacco.
You can do it that way, and you can do it that way. And I know people who do, but you can buy them in a pack. I don't know how many come in a pack, but you can buy them in a pack, like a normal pack of cigarettes, either a soft pack or a hard pack. And they've got ones that are like, when they call them, like they might have American Spirit Lights. Like whenever a cigarette is a light cigarette, like a Marlboro Light, it usually needs to have more chemicals in it. But a American Spirit Light means it has a heavier filter built into it. And they have ones that are organic. So the tobacco is not just straight tobacco. It's actually or tobacco that's been raised by organic standards. So there's no pesticides in it. And so it's literally smoking a cigarette that is just paper and tobacco, and you can get, of course, with filters as well. And so you're not getting all of the chemicals, like you said, strychnine, but there's all these other fillers. And when you smoke an American Spirit, it lasts, I'm talking 2 to 3 times longer than a normal, like say a Pall Mall or Marlboro or whatever the case might be.
Really?
yeah, they burn a lot slower. They take longer to smoke. Yeah, because they don't have all the fillers and all the chemicals in them. Yeah. And a moment of confession here. Since the age of 16, so we're talking over 30 years now. When I'm out with a group of friends, I don't do this very often, but every now and then I'll have a couple of drags of someone's cigarette, and I actually like the taste of it. And literally with 2 drags, I'll get a little bit of a lightheaded buzz, and I'm good. And I won't need to do that again for maybe a few months. Not that I ever need to, but I just like that taste, and I like that feeling.
It's interesting.
It's interesting. To do it once in a while, it's not going to hurt my body. But I've smoked American spirits, and they're far better than Marlboros and all the other ones.
Well, it's interesting that you'd share that because I think I've shared with you before that I will smoke an occasional cigar, 1 or 2 a year, something like that.
Yeah,
I'll go with the guys, and my doctor says that's not going to hurt me. But the truth is that just like you, of course, a cigar is a lot stronger, and I don't inhale the thing, but I'll tell you what. It does give me a high. You smoke a cigar, and it will make you lightheaded, no question about it.
Especially if you inhale. I've smoked them, and I don't inhale. And the thing I like about cigars is the aftertaste that stays in your mouth for like hours.
Well, here's the thing.
First of all, cigar at night, wake up the next morning and still taste it.
Are you saying there are some people that do inhale a cigar?
I've known people who do inhale it. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how they do it either. But I can tell you this, that once or twice a year that I have a cigar, and I generally all have a Cuban cigar, an expensive cigar. But when I wake up the next morning, it's like a herd of buffalo did a job inside my mouth. It's ugly stuff. Yep. Ugly stuff, boy. I want to.
See, I like that taste. Now I've had like when I was married, my ex would tell me, she says, "Oh my God, your breath smells horrible." I'm like, really? I go, it doesn't taste bad at all, but yeah, the next morning, you're right, it does. It leaves a raunchy odor in your mouth. You got to brush your teeth, but the after, it's funny. I love the taste of a cigar. Not crazy about the smell. Pipes. I love the smell of a pipe. I've tried to smoke pipes before. I can't stand smoking pipes.
You and me both. I tried when I was younger. I tried to smoke a pipe because I thought that's cool, right? And it got the amphora tobacco and all these different aromas and things. Smelled fantastic, but you know what? It was a lot of work. The pipe kept going out. I didn't have the patience. I think a pipe smoker is somebody who has to be a very patient person.
You can't be stressed out and in a hurry if you want to smoke a pipe. You have to sit down and be focused on what you're doing because and I'm just not crazy about the whole process or the flavor. The flavor is like, a cigar tastes better and it's easier to smoke. But but pipes, I love when I smell someone else smoking a pipe, I'm like, oh gosh, it smells wonderful. But the whole process of doing it myself, no thanks.
Yeah, the aroma is something else. So listen, let's move in another direction because we got a minute and a half before we have to take a break. And so I want to move in another direction. The High Court now, it limits the state's power to gather health care data. And I don't know if you saw this or not. It was in today's headlines. The Supreme Court says that state officials cannot force certain health insurers to turn over reams of data revealing how much they pay for medical claims. Now, the justices ruled 6-2 that efforts by Vermont and at least 17 other states to gather and analyze the data conflict with federal law covering reporting requirements for employer health plans. And basically what it is the states don't know if they're getting reamed or not. How much are they actually? Is there a disparity between what you pay in Vermont and what you pay in Los Angeles? What do you think about that?
Well, that's interesting. I understand, the whole HIPAA and protecting individual rights to privacy and stuff, but to just say, hey, here's what it costs to get a knee replacement, or here's what it costs to treat someone for, bronchitis or whatever the case might be, that seems like it's they're protecting their financial interests more than they are about the betterment of mankind, and so I don't see a good reason why those wouldn't be available. Why you wouldn't? Because it's the only reason that the medical community would not want to turn that over is because that they know that they're they're charging far more than they really should be.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're going to leave on time for this commercial break. And that was interesting. You're just an interesting guy. When we come back, though, I'm going to take you to Las Vegas, where there's an outbreak that makes Nevada's syphilis rate the highest in the West. We'll talk about that with our own Sean LaFave after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:22 p.m. Pacific time. Currently, finally starting to go down. It's 83 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. And if you're listening on our global network and you're in Tokyo, Japan, it's 41 degrees and partly cloudy. And in Sydney, Australia, 81 degrees and mostly cloudy. But you know what? We have got what is going to be a magnificent segment that we're going to talk about right now. It is a hot segment. It is one that's going to get your juices boiling. We're going to talk to our own expert, and he'll tell you why he's an expert, about the Vegas outbreak that makes Nevada's syphilis rate the highest in the West. So let me give you a little background. Nevada is experiencing the highest rate of syphilis in the West following an outbreak in Las Vegas. Now, health officials say it's part of a national spike in cases tied to increased testing, a rise in anonymous sex tied to social media, and a less consistent use of condoms. Social media's link to syphilis in a gay community has prompted health officials to take their educational outreach directly to the websites and apps, in some cases creating profiles or buying advertisements. And here's a closer look. What is syphilis and how does it still exist? And that's what I'm asking my good buddy Sean LaFave to tell us. Hey, Sean, any idea? Or do you want me to go on further?
Well, syphilis has been around. I don't know why even anyone would ask why does it still exist, because it's a sexually transmitted disease.
Yeah.
And you know, as long as we have people having sex, I'm pretty sure it's going to be around. But matter of fact, isn't that what Napoleon Bonaparte died of?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they say that going untreated,
But he didn't use a condom.
He did not use a condom. I know. I guess that's it's good to be the king, as they say.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's a sexually transmitted disease, and to think, okay, it's the highest. And when they say the West, they mean like the West as in Western nations or Western United States, or what do they mean by the West?
No, Western United States, and specifically Nevada they're talking about, and specifically Las Vegas is where the increase is. And I'm thinking, when I first saw this, I thought it was because of all the prostitution and the legalized brothels and all the stuff that are around in Nevada, but it doesn't appear to be that. It appears to be because of gay habits here.
Yeah, and I would, they pointed out the gay community there, but I would say, that really, whether it's gay or straight community, it's so funny because people, obviously we had AIDS, and that grew tremendously among the gay population, and I don't think it's something inherent with being gay or homosexual, whatever you want to refer to as. I think it just has to do with being a guy. Guys, this is not like sugarcoat this here. A guy, when he goes out, he wants to find something to put his body parts inside of. And so when you get two guys together and they like each other, well, it's not a hard conclusion to draw that, one of them's not going to say no as readily. Now, women will tend to say no, at least not the first date, or at least not give me a couple hours and have some drinks first, like something. Women will tend to say no a lot more than men will. And so things like this will tend to grow more in the gay community. But I tell you what, the heterosexual community has really, young women nowadays are much more promiscuous than they were 20 years ago.
That really ticks me off. I want to tell you, that really ticks me off because you know what? When I was young, it was before the what do you call it? The flower child era, and then I was already a young adult and married when we had all that promiscuous activity going on between boys and girls, and all the free sex and all the stuff was going on. I missed that whole era, and here we go again. I'm really ticked off about this.
Sorry, Robert. I have a feeling you're not missing out as much as you think you are. But
are you kidding? I've been married almost 51 years. It's been so long since I've had sex, I forget who gets tied up.
So they talked about social media, and I think that is really what is making a difference nowadays. There's this app out there, and it's so funny because I've had friends like, "Oh, you gotta check out this. It's called Tinder." And I'm like, I have no desire to be on any social media dating site, but there's this thing out there called Tinder, and they make it so quick and easy to try to find someone. You literally on your phone, you'll see a picture of a girl. If you like her, you swipe it to the right. If you don't like her, swipe it to the left. If you kind of like her, but you're not sure, you want to see a couple more pictures, you tap on it, you can see a few more pictures, and then you go, yeah, all good, then you go ahead and swipe to the right. Or you say, no, she did the first picture, made her look way better than she really is, so you swipe left. Now what happens is, let's say I'm on Tinder, and I see an attractive woman, I swipe her picture off to the right. It saves it in my bank that says, okay, this is someone that you're interested in, and it sends her a message. and it says, hey, this guy.
You appear to know an awful lot about this.
Well, because I've had several people tell me how this works.
Yeah.
No, trust me. I'm not doing it myself. But so it will send, because I've had my friends are like, what is the deal? I finally asked them. I said, what's the deal with Tinder? I had someone explain it to me. But now I swipe right. It lets her know, hey, this guy is interested in you, and she can look at your picture, and if she's interested, she can swipe right, and then it lets you both know, and then one of you can reach out, usually, the first person who swiped. And if she swipes left, then it lets you know, hey, she's not interested in you, dude, move on. And so you can, and then what happens is if you both swipe right and you both interested, you contact each other, and you can set the parameters to where, like if I'm in, Newport Beach, California, it'll show me girls in my local vicinity. If I go to Las Vegas and I'm with my buddies and I want to meet a girl, I can look for girls in Las Vegas, and then and they may not even be from Vegas. It might be I'm from Newport Beach and I'm in Vegas, and there's a girl from Dallas, Texas, and we both swipe right on Tinder, and then we go, hey, I'm staying at the whatever, hey, I'm right down the street. Let's go meet up and have drinks, and boom, next thing you know.
And you learned all of this about from close friends, huh?
Yep, absolutely. I'm a strong stay. Hey, I know about syphilis too, but I've never had it. So, but I know about Napoleon Bonaparte as well. But, never fought with him or against him. But so social media really has changed. And I don't even want to call it dating. It has changed the sex revolution, I guess, the sexual revolution, because now it's so easy to go, we're so in tune with, I can look at the pictures and read a little bit about this person, and I like that person, and it automatically tells you, your brain, you're going, well, you like this person already because you get to see them on your phone. And so now when you go meet him or her, for drinks, you already got a preconceived notion that this is the person I'm interested in. So it takes away it takes what would normally, be us going out, meeting someone, finding out, am I interested in this person, and so on, and then shrinking all that, getting to know each other down into a matter of hours instead of days or weeks or maybe even months. And now, so it's really easy to go out. And of course, you're in a place like Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So people who go to Vegas are already of the mindset that, hey, I'm here. Let's go party and have some fun, and let's go do something crazy with some good-looking girl or some good-looking guy. And then we can say, hey, have a good time. Take care. Best of luck to you. Maybe we'll stay in touch. Maybe not, but we're going to go back to our respective parts of the country. And so, yeah, I can see why. And of course, you're going to find people locally that are going to stick around, and they're going to be hooking up with people who are visiting. And see, I can see how syphilis would become rampant in a place like Vegas, but I can see it growing anywhere, really, because that social media, and Tinder is just one app. There's a whole bunch of other apps out there, but Tinder seems to be the one that's made it the easiest to hook up with someone else on a very short notice in your local area.
Well,
yeah. So yeah, but my curiosity though is why syphilis? Why not gonorrhea or chlamydia or herpes or people with herpes? I'm just
reading it off the Associated Press.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not sure why syphilis would actually, I shouldn't say that, because syphilis is one of those sexually transmitted diseases. Like chlamydia. If you get chlamydia, you're going to know in a very short while, because you're going to try to go to the bathroom and it's going to feel like you just peed lava, and something's not going to be right, and you're going to have this. You might have gonorrhea, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, your underwear is stuck to your parts, right? So a lot of these.
There's a part of me that is so awful thankful that I've never had to experience any of the things that you're describing here.
Yeah. Those are some visuals, aren't they?
I have obviously lived a very sheltered life.
Like I said earlier, I don't think you're missing out as much as you think you are. But syphilis is one of those sexually transmitted diseases that can manifest for years, or can stick around for years, and you can still pass it on to someone else, but you have zero symptoms. The symptoms never manifest themselves until years down the road. You might not even know you have syphilis, and it can literally take years for your body to all of a sudden start producing symptoms to where you go, oh, I've got this disease.
Oh, really?
And it's like, Yeah, so I can see how syphilis, I ask the question. So that's the cool part about life. If you ask the right questions, you'll get the answers, Yeah. That's the one thing about the human brain. The human brain always wants to answer your question. So if you're trying to lose weight and you look in the mirror and you're like, God, why am I so fat and I can never lose weight? Your brain will come up with it because you're a pig and you eat too much and you're disgusting, So don't ask that question anymore. Ask yourself, what do I need to do to lose weight and how do I get back to having my beach body? And you'll get an answer to that question. So, I asked the question, why syphilis? Well, my brain instantly went, here's why. Because it takes longer to manifest. It will lay dormant, but still be contagious for years to come. So, yeah. So, yeah, but use of condoms can prevent stuff like that. It's pretty simple. Or being in a monogamous relationship for 750 years.
That helps. Yeah, that helps. And it's interesting. You're talking about Napoleon Bonaparte. I don't think they even had balloons. Weren't even invented back then.
Yeah, I don't think so. From what I understand, though, condoms, I believe, used to be made out of, I don't know if it was intestines, like pig intestines.
Sheepskin. Sheep's intestines.
Sheepskin. I knew it was made from some animal product. I couldn't know what it was. Sheepskin, yeah. They used to make condoms, and I don't know how long ago they started that, but
I have got to tell you an embarrassing true story. Now, when I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist, and I had a job in this drugstore. And of course, drugstores then, they had fountains in them. It was a pretty cool place. But I was in high school, and I went to an all boys high school. And the one thing that I had access to that none of the other guys in my high school had access to were condoms. And they were kept in a 2-foot drawer right behind the pharmacy there. And so I'd buy the condoms at whatever the price would be and resell them at my high school. Man, I want to tell you, I made a fortune.
That's awesome.
These guys were embarrassed to go into any pharmacy and ask for them, right? And my boss he said, man, that, we make a 65% profit on these things. This is terrific because I'm making more than that. I buy them from you by the dozen and I sell them by the piece.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that they used to be kept behind the counter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nowadays you can just go to the grocery store and they're out. You just take one off the shelf and you go purchase it. They don't even. They're not.
Well, yeah. But way back then they were kept in just a regular drawer, about a 2x2 drawer, and you had all the condoms with all the different makes and the different sizes. Whether it be a 3, 6, a dozen, 3 dozen. Every once in a while some guy come in, he'd look a little sheepish, right? And you know what he wants to have, and he'd ask for, he wouldn't say condoms, he'd say rubbers. And so I'd ask him, well, what size? And he says, what size? He says, well, I guess, what sizes do they come in? And I said, well, small, medium, and large. And he says, I guess, medium. And I said, well, we're all out of the medium. You want to try the small? Smalls are pretty big. And he says, you know what? I'll have to get back at you. He didn't even want to have the conversation. And the truth is they don't come in sizes, and I never got a chance to say lubricated or dry. I never got a chance to say reservoir or ridged. I used to just have an absolute fun time with these guys that were going to buy them for the first time. And I'd say, they come in size 10, 12, and 16. Oh, well, I'll take a 16. I said, that was the smallest size we had. We don't have them. The sizes actually work backwards. The guys, it was just going nuts. Anyway, with that, we've got 15 seconds before we got to take a break. What are we going to talk about on Thursday?
Boy, you know what? I don't know. I kind of want to talk about this political stuff going on, but you know what? We need to talk about global warming, because remember I posted an article on Facebook, and I haven't gotten so many responses from a post on Facebook in a long time. Let's talk about global warming a little bit, because I want to talk about this recent survey that was peer reviewed journal on and on that kind of refutes a lot of stuff that's going on. So maybe we can talk about
we'll talk
performing, and we can talk about the idiocy of the Oscars as well.
Oh yeah, we can talk. You know what? Absolutely, we can talk about the Oscars. We can talk about the Super Tuesday. Hillary and Donald are running away with it, and so we'll do all that stuff on Thursday. In the meantime, I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay happy. I want you to make everybody's life that you touch better for it. And we'll talk to you on Thursday.
To you, Robert. I appreciate it, and looking forward to Thursday. Thanks.
All right, buddy. You take care. Now, the rest of you folks, do not go away. When we come back, we'll have the birthdays for the day. Well, the secret teachings for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. You don't want to miss these things. We've got some great ones for you. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:41 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 83 degrees in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's slowly going down on its way to 52 degrees. But if you're listening to us on our global network, if you're in Auckland, New Zealand, it's 73 degrees. If you're in Hong Kong, it's 81 degrees. And if you're in Lisbon, Portugal, it's 50 degrees, and I want to thank all of you folks for listening to us. Now, it's time for us to talk about the Harvard business tip of the day. And the management tip today is set the right conditions for creativity. You know, there isn't a magic formula for how to be more creative, but you can deliberately craft the right environment for optimal brain health, which in turn makes it more likely for you to experience artistic inspiration or have that eureka moment. Start by taking better care of yourself, which means sleeping more, at least 7 to 9 hours, eating a well-balanced diet, and getting plenty of exercise. The basics for brain functioning. Now, you should also force yourself to take time to think and reflect. Try a mindfulness course or some breathing exercises to reduce stress. Stop fretting about your deficiencies and failures and focus on what makes you happy at work. The positive emotions that are generated when you feel connected to your personal and organizational purpose will help you think more clearly and more creatively. You know, easy for me to say, right? Anyway, I'm telling you, those things work. You want to pay attention to them. Well, it's time for our secret daily teaching for your life. And, you know, this is all about a positive mental attitude. I tell you this every day. And I keep hammering away at it because I so firmly believe in it. You are in control of your own life. It's all about a positive mental attitude. You control whether you're happy, you're sad, you're successful, you're a failure, you're rich, you're poor. You get to control all those things. And you even get to control how people feel around you, all by your positive mental attitude. Now, the secret for that today is there is not a single instance in history where hate has brought joy to human beings. It's a negative force that serves only to destroy those who hold it in their mind and body. If the majority of humanity released all hate, fear, and resentment, wars would disappear from our planet. Now, isn't that a goal worth having? Yeah, I would certainly think so. Well, you know what today is. Today is Tuesday. It's March the 1st, and it's somebody's birthday. And we've got some great birthdays today. And the first one up is a fellow that was born in 1810 and passed away in 1849. He was a composer and a virtuoso pianist. He was one of the great masters of romantic music. He was Frédéric Chopin. Yeah. And here's a fellow born in 1944, a singer, songwriter, and actor, best known as the founder and lead singer of the rock band The Who. Happy birthday, Roger Daltrey. And here's somebody everybody knows. He was born in 1954. He's a director, a producer, and an actor. He came to prominence in the 60s playing Andy Griffith's TV son, Opie. Happy birthday, Ron Howard. Yeah. Well, what happened today in history? Well, on March the 1st, in 1565, the city of Rio de Janeiro was founded. And in 1872, Yellowstone National Park is established as the world's very first national park. Not the country, the world's. And in 1936, the Hoover Dam was finally completed right outside of Las Vegas there. And then finally, in 1954, nuclear testing, the Castle Bravo, a 15-megaton hydrogen bomb, is detonated on Bikini Atoll in the Pacific Ocean, resulting in the worst radioactive contamination ever caused by the United States. Isn't that something? Well, let's talk about the quote for today. The quote for today comes from Palmer Sandriel, and he says, "Happiness is never stopping to think if you are." Yeah, isn't that something? That makes sense, doesn't it? Happiness is never having to stop to think if you are. Well, it's time for us to talk about those interesting but useless facts. And we've got a number of them for you, so let's just get right to them. Did you know a strawberry is the only fruit which seeds grow on the outside and not the inside? There you go. How about this? Marcel Proust's Remembrance of Things Past contains almost 1.5 million words. Wow. And until 1896, drivers in Great Britain had to warn of their presence by having a person precede their car on foot waving a red flag, so you can guess how fast the cars were in 1896, huh? How about this? Did you know that in the Dry Valleys region of Antarctica, it has not rained in 2 million years, according to scientists? You know, those are the same scientists that a lot of people don't believe when it comes to global warming. Our own Sean Lefebvre doesn't believe in global warming. Something's happening out there. How about this? The largest U.S. city in the area is Juneau, Alaska, which covers 3,108 square miles. Now, Los Angeles covers only 458.2 square miles. So, Juneau sounded weird until I told you that, didn't it? Yeah, nowhere near the same population, though, folks. Did you know that a piece of French toast that was partially eaten by singer Justin Timberlake sold on eBay? There is just no explaining this kind of stuff. And then, you know what? Did you know that studies have shown that the scent of rosemary can help in better mental performance and make individuals feel more alert? All right, I'm going out and grow some of that right away. How about this one? As of 1996, Hee Haw holds the record for the longest-running weekly first-run syndicated show in the history of television. It spanned over 4 decades, from the late 60s to the early 90s, airing every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Well, let me leave you with this. Human thigh bones are stronger than concrete. Wow. Utterly amazing, huh? Yeah. Well, do not go away, because when we come back from this commercial message, I am going to answer your emails. The first one comes from Vincent Verduzco from New Brighton, Minnesota, asking about driving records. And I'm going to explain all of that to you right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live, and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses: website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. Well, we're coming down to the wire. Time for us to answer your emails. I just want to caution you, we do the best we can at answering these. Sometimes the information you send us is just a little bit sketchy, so we always encourage you to contact a licensed professional. They're going to generally cost you a lot less money than they save you. And the truth is that to give you peace of mind, let you sleep at night, because one of the conditions of their licensing is that they have errors and omissions insurance, which means that that's the same thing as malpractice insurance. They have to pay the piper. Yeah, they make a mistake. That's why you get to sleep at night. Not have to worry about those registered letters. Well, my first email comes from Vincent Verduzco from New Brighton, Minnesota, asking about driving records. It says, I'm a bookkeeper for a firm whose key employee says it's too time-consuming to keep detailed driving records, so we estimate her driving and reimburse her the same amount for it every month. But how do I record and report this? Everyone else provides detailed driving records. Well, Vincent, you will have to report the reimbursement paid to the key employee on her W-2 as taxable wages to her. The tax rules are very clear that tax-free reimbursement is available only when specific records are kept reporting the date, destination, and business purpose of driving on a per-trip basis. Estimating, as you're describing, is just not permitted. So if you want to get some more details on this, go to the rules for how to report reimbursement under the headings Accountable Plans and Non-Accountable Plans in IRS Publication 363. That's Travel, Entertainment, Gift, and Car Expenses. And hopefully that'll help you. Next email comes from Sandy Wingler, and Sandy is writing me from Raleigh, North Carolina, asking about a late Social Security number on a new birth. It says, I had a new baby at the end of the year, but due to a paperwork foul-up, have yet to receive a Social Security number for her. How do I claim her as a dependent on my tax return? Well, Sandy, the law requires that a Social Security number be provided for every child who's claimed as a dependent on a tax return. But there is an easy fix for your situation. Prepare your return as you would otherwise, but if you don't get that Social Security number by April the 15th, file an extension with an accompanying payment of any tax due, if there's anything there. When the Social Security number finally arrives, simply fill it in and on the return and mail it to the IRS. You also have an opportunity to just do an amended return down the road at any time. So when that comes in, it'll be taken care of. You don't have the big problem you have, maybe a little bit of a inconvenience. So don't sweat it. Next email comes from Devon Polney from Grand Rapids, Michigan, asking about charitable contributions and writes, if the amount I deduct on my tax return for items such as charitable contributions is a lot larger this year than it was in past years, will this red flag my tax return for an audit? Well, Devin, no. IRS computers don't flag a return for audit on the basis of year-to-year changes in the taxpayer's deductions. However, they do flag returns on which deductions are particularly items in much larger than the average for taxpayers at the same level. Now, even if that shouldn't deter you from taking legitimate deductions, simply make sure that you keep all the required documentation to support them should the IRS question you. Everybody should pay their fair share of taxes, but you know what? Not one god-awful penny more. Don't ever be afraid of the tax man if what you're doing is legitimate. Now, my last email comes from James Byrne from Akron, Ohio, asking about tax-free home sale gain. Writes, we sold our home last year after living in it for many years, so our gain should be tax-free, but We just received a copy of a Form 1099-S that reports all of the sale proceeds, more than $100,000, to the IRS. How do we handle this? Well, James, don't worry about it. The 1099 was sent out by mistake, and your gain is still going to be tax-free up to $250,000, $500,000 if it's on a joint return, if you met the 2 or 5 year residency requirement. Now, technically, you don't even have to report it on your return, but if a 1099 reporting more than $100,000 has been filed, IRS computers are going to expect to find a matching amount on your return, and they're going to flag it for attention if they don't see it. Now, the simplest way to do this is to report the sale on Schedule D of your return, add a note explaining what happened, then subtract an offsetting Section 121 exclusion amount so that no taxable gain actually results from that. And you'll find that you'll be just fine. Now, I want to remind everybody that we have an app out there. It's absolutely free. If you have an Apple product, go to the Apple Store and search Robert Cardoza Live. The app's right there. It's free to download. If you've got an Android or a Windows product, go to googleplay.com. Same search, Robert Cardoza Live. Download it. It's absolutely free. You'll be able to listen to our show live. It'll be a little flag saying that we're broadcasting live if that's exactly what's happening. Otherwise, you'll see all the archive shows there. And there's a little information toggle switch there, too. If you want to see an archive show, hit the little information button. It'll tell you what that particular show is all about. But I love it. It's really great, and I'd sure love for you to tell all your friends about it as well. Now, on my next show, I'm presenting new tax tips for you to use right now. And then Joel Saltzman, our own Dr. Wireless, is going to be here. He'll be talking about new things that were at the show, the Influence shows, and news about wireless technology. So please tell all your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network, and you're not going to want to miss tomorrow's show. It's going to be phenomenal.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.